Hi, I'm Jeff Liddy, the Window Expert. I'm standing in our beautiful showroom here in Houston, Texas at the Window Experts. And I want to show you an amazing product you've probably never ever seen before. I don't know that anybody makes something like this. This is a product called Glass Expanse, and it's made right here in Texas by a locally owned company. These guys do. His name is Adam. He and his team do a terrific job of building this. Now you say, Jeff, what makes you so excited about this door? Well, let me walk through it. This is going to be a little bit lengthy video, but if you're looking for a product like this, and look how cool it moves, check that out. Yeah, you are going to want to know more about this. And I'm going to start by showing you one of the things I love about this so much is just how narrow the sight line is on this. I've got a lot of glass, hence the name Glass Expanse, a lot of glass, very little frame, and you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a steel door. Steel doors are so popular, but steel, not only very expensive, but very heavy, and also needs a lot of maintenance. This is not going to need that because this is made out of extruded aluminum with an anodized finish. Now, if you say, Jeff, what is an anodized finish? Let me just sum it up to say, it's not paint, it's not powder coat, it's an anodization process where electrostatically we are impregnating the color into the actual aluminum itself. Very, very scratch resistant. You don't have to worry about maintenance on this except for just cleaning it every so often. Now, it looks like any other kind of door. In fact, it looks a lot like what I would call a window wall, right? We have what we call window walls, and this looks like a window wall, and you probably, if you live in Houston, for example, you're probably gonna leave it closed most of the time. But unlike a sliding door, where a sliding door, to go in and out of it, you have to slide the door and it can be heavy, this actually has a hinge door. I have a little handle right here. We're standing inside the house. I want to go outside. I just squeeze down on that, push it open, and I go to the outside. So this is what we call a day door. Essentially, throughout the day, I come in and out. I let the dog out. I let the dog in. Come on, puppy. And I have a day door instead of sliding it, or instead of like a bifold, where sometimes bifolds don't do that. Now, we decided we're going to have a little bit of a party. Hear that click? It clicks in there. I grab this panel. I slide it over like this. Bring it all the way down to the end. I wish you could see the track. You can understand how this works. Push it over there. And by the way, this glides easily. Doesn't take much effort. Now it is heavy, right? Because we have double tempered glass. It's tempered on the inside and on the outside. Go down to the end, and you can see I just stack it, and I just keep doing it. Now, if you notice, all of this stacks to the outside. Remember, you and I are on the inside right now. This stacks to the outside, and you say, well, Jeff, should I care? Why do I care? Well, here's why you should care. A lot of doors that stack to the inside, they don't perform as well when it comes to energy ratings, because think about wind pushing on a door. Let's say you have rain and you have wind pushing on that door. If the door opens to the inside, right, it's easier for air to penetrate, moisture to penetrate, than if you're pushing the door shut. When you have a door that opens to the outside, the stronger the wind, the better it seals. So you end up with a better performing door when that happens. So they've actually had this product tested for air infiltration by a third party. Third party results prove that this actually performs just like a fixed window would. Think about this, a fixed window doesn't even operate. Very little air comes through it. Same with this door. It actually has the energy benefits when it comes to air infiltration that you could expect from a fixed picture window. That's amazing. So look, I could stack all of them open. I could stack some of them open. I could maybe, put this right in the middle. If I just wanted to, have some sort of maybe I put a little sign in here that says happy birthday or happy new year, and I just want to leave that there, and traffic goes in one side, comes out another. But while I've got you here, I want you to come take a look at something. If you notice here, we have two weather strip gaskets. I'm not sure what this is made out of, but it feels like that silicone-based product. It's definitely not that fur strip stuff. I've got these two gaskets here, and on the other side of this, I'll show you this. I've got this gasket right here, okay? And that's a really nice wide one. I bet that is probably 5/8 of an inch, and it's also that spongy material like that is. So these two come up like this, okay? And they press up against that, so that gives me a good connection between the two panels. Then this is my overlapping astragal. This overlaps onto the second panel, and that's why when you get this wind pushing from the outside, you're actually pushing those panels together closer, which gives me even more functioning performance. I love it. I think it's really cool. I think it looks great, and it performs well. Now you say, Jeff, give me some more details. I'm an engineer type. I like to know the details behind this thing. Well, let me give you some of the sort of design components and elements behind this. One of the beautiful things about this, unlike most panels that slide like this is actually a fixed track, single fixed track. If you notice, we have one track that all of these panels ride in. So what you get a look of when they're all closed is they're all uniformly connected up like this. They're all together. You don't have them staggered. Whereas in a sliding door, right, if you have, say, a 3 or a 4 panel sliding door, you're going to have 3 tracks or 4 tracks, and they're going to be intersecting each other like this. So what does that mean to you? Well, that means that when you're standing back here inside the house looking out, or if you're standing outside from the pool, swimming in the pool looking at it, you don't have these staggered depths, right? Everything is flush and flat. It almost looks like a giant window when you look at it, which I think is visually more appealing. But also for those of you who are installers are really going to appreciate this, you don't need a really deep wall to work off of. Some of the doors that we sell that have 3, 4, and 5 tracks, right? They're going to need to have a deeper wall to accommodate all those tracks, a deeper floor. So if you have 2x4 or 2x6 construction or 2x8 construction, it won't matter. This door is going to work with any of those, so it's much more versatile in that regard. Another thing you need to know about this is that this door is actually hung from the top. In other words, the weight is not on the floor, the weight is on this header up above you. So what that means is that some additional considerations is you're going to need a really good header because we don't want too much deflection. Now in about a 16 to 20 foot opening, if you had about a 1/4 inch deflection, a lot of products would not work. They would end up getting pinched, right? Like when you would go to slide this panel, if your header had a bow in it, maybe it slides really good until you get to about right here in the middle and you start to feel a little bit of a pinch. But with this, that's not going to happen. The reason that's not going to happen is because it has better tolerances than most of them do. A 1/4 inch over a 20-foot span is not unacceptable. Now, if you get more than a 1/4 inch, you've got structural issues. You probably need to get somebody out there to take a look at that because you want that fixed, right? But a lot of products are real finicky and they need constant adjustment or they don't work at all. This product, unlike most, is going to be pretty much set it and forget it. But should you have a problem with your house and it starts to have issues, unlike some of the other products out there, this one actually has some really nice settings where you can make adjustability to each panel individually, which means that you can raise one panel a tiny bit, lower it a little bit, because we want to make this where any time along the journey, because this thing's going to last you 20 plus years, right? You want to make sure that you can still adjust this and it can continue to work for you. And so installers really love this product because you can get it in even to an opening that's not really perfect and you can make it work. I'm going to stack that right there. It's nice and tight. And you can see here I pull this closed and it latches for me. I've got a lock down here, a little lock up here. And I like that because it doesn't disrupt the look. A lot of companies end up with some kind of a lock box here that sticks into this and disrupts the look. Now you've got a nice clean look all across it. Now this size right here we have is 16 feet wide and that is 8 feet tall, but believe it or not, they can make these things up to 40 feet wide by 10 feet tall. So sizing's not a problem. In the panel size, we can make any single panel all the way up to 44 inches wide. So you get wider panels than you would on a bifold door, and of course you don't get the big bulk that you would get on a bifold door either. Now, here's what you should be aware of, because not every product's not perfect. This has its, areas for improvement. Since these panels are each individually adjustable, I don't really like putting grids on this because you could put a grid pattern across here, but if you're going to have some offsetting like that, I don't know that that's really the smartest idea thinking about this long term. They do make grids between the glass, that is an option, but getting it perfect and consistent, if you're like me, you're one of those guys that's in the pool, you got laser eye, you see stuff and you think, I don't like that, I would avoid that. Personally, I think this is beautiful without the grids. I don't think you really want them, but in case you really want those, just know that they are available, but a little bit of a caveat on that. Now, when we think about glass options. This is Cardinal glass. You hear me talk all the time about how much I love Cardinal glass. It's the best glass in the industry. It's what you're going to see in Anderson, you're going to see it in Pella, you're going to see it in Infinity from Marvin. It is really top of the line glass. Standard on this is Low E 366. Okay, that's Cardinal Low E 366 with argon. And so you're going to have really high performances in this in a warm climate. Now, something you should know about this, even though you might want it and you're fine to have it, I don't think this is going to be something that's going to make you real happy if you're more in a northern climate. If you live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you want one of these, okay, but I'm going to caution you right up front. The fact that this is not an energy efficient material, aluminum is not energy efficient like, say, a composite would be, fiberglass or something along those lines, it may not be ideal for someone who lives in a cold climate. Now, if you live, all across, say, Florida, South Carolina, anywhere along the Gulf Coast, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, any of those areas, California especially, right? This is actually a great product for those environments because we don't really get into very, very many cold months of the year. It is beautiful. It is functional. It comes with a 10-year warranty on the labor, on the materials, and a 20-year warranty on the glass against seal failure. And it is something that they do make in custom colors if you said I need a specific color, but it will not be anodized. It will be powder coated. Remember, there is an upcharge for that. I'm not a fan of powder coat when you can get anodized, but it is available to you if that's what you want. What do you think about this? What do you like about this? Put something about it in the comments, see what you think below. Great company, Glass Expanse. I've known the owner now for some time. Terrific product, really stands behind it. They actually have their own local service technicians that cover the entire state. If you live outside of the state, we can work with you to see if there's something we can do to get this in your hands. But builders love it, home designers love it, especially homeowners who love it, right? Because you get that big, beautiful backyard. You want to be able to look at it. Who wants a wall when you can have a window, right? I love it. Now, if I can help you, if you live in Houston or you live in Dallas, Fort Worth, I can help you. If you don't, I have a list of great window companies all over the country. Check it out. It's jeffslist.com. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, please subscribe. I'll talk to you again real soon.